Okay, here's something different. So if people are like, Shannon's not doing anything different during his trip. Remember, there's 14 games today, which makes it crazy. There's 8 games tomorrow, and then I got 3 days of no hockey while I'm here. Part of the reason why this trip works. So as tired as I am, and I'm tired, and as crazy as some of the scheduling works because of it, there's something else I wanted to do, and I was lucky because we checked our American Post Office box on the way down, and this was there, the 1981 Hockey News Yearbook. And again, I get these yearbooks because they are a window into the past. They're a screenshot, as you would, of where hockey was, what point they were at. And it is very suitable that it's Gretzky that's on the cover of this one. I also got the 1982 annual because I intend to have every annual of the hockey news from 1980 through to present day and have them all in a row. 1982 has Mike Bossy on the cover and talks extensively about the Islanders. See, this is after their first Stanley Cup. So the idea of the Islanders becoming a dynasty might be in the back of some people's mind, but for the most part, not really. But I fell in love with hockey at this state, so I wanted to start a playlist on this because I get asked, every now and then about how I came to like hockey or what I like so much about it. So this will give a window into when I was 7 and 8 years old, and I decided I really wanted to watch this hockey thing more than anything else. There's a quote from Wayne Gretzky. Each year I've had to prove myself. Each year they told me the checking would get tougher, that I'd get hit more often. Every year I'm told I'm going to be run out of the rink. This is my 4th year as a rookie, and I'm in the National Hockey League at 18, just like Gordie Howe and Bobby Orr. There's going to be a lot of pressure, but I plan to prove myself this year as well. Wayne Gretzky was the guy right away. But there were plenty of people who said, he's too skinny, he's not big enough, he's not going to last. This kid's a fad, he's going to pass. He tied Marcel Dion of the Los Angeles Kings for the Art Ross Trophy. Both had 137s, but the boy wonder lost out on fewer goals to be at 51 and Marcel Dion at 53. Made the second NHL All-Star team. Those are the highlights. Here's the corollary facts. He finished 42 points better than Brian Trottier of the New York Islanders, who had 95 points in his rookie season in 75-76. He was only 2 goals back of Islander winger Mike Bossy, who scored 53 times in his first year in 1977-78. His 86 assists were only 3 behind all-time season high held by Philadelphia Flyer assistant coach Bobby Clarke. He had 7 assists and a win over the Washington Capitals to tie Billy Taylor for the league's one-game record. He mustered 6 points in a nationally televised game against the Toronto Maple Leafs. 9 times he had 4 points or more in a game. In 79 games, he only missed scoring a point 17 times. The Oilers lost 16 of those games when he was held off the score sheet. So what was the number one criticism? They can't win without Gretzky. And it was right. It was true. They couldn't win without Gretzky. Sometimes the talent is so good that and so dominant that you can overcome the fact that your team may not be as good as it needs to be defensively. Maybe you don't have as much depth as you'd like to have. Now, it's worthy of note that this was written in 1980, and the Oilers wouldn't win their first cup till 1984. And in the time in between, they were slammed a lot for just being all offense, for not caring about defense. Their goaltending was mediocre. And I'm just saying these were the criticisms, not necessarily that I agreed with them. But they were so much fun to watch. Here's another quote from Gretzky. I looked at it this way: when I was 15 or 16 years old, like Tracy Austin can win a World Tennis Championship. I didn't think it was impossible for an 18-year-old to win ANHL's top trophy. I've always thought there's no use shooting for a medium goal. You have to shoot for the highest goal. And another, other than the Stanley Cup, the Hart is the greatest trophy there is to win in the NHL. So Gretzky was just, I don't care if other people haven't done these things. It's mine. When Dion got the Art Ross, Marcel Dion said this: maybe the NHL shouldn't give us each a trophy, but Wayne should at least get half. If we'd gone another 10 to 20 games, we probably would have stayed just as close. Although he softened his position later, Gretzky was visibly upset at the time he lost. Would have been nice if Marcel had beaten me by even 1 point. It's a little discouraging to tie for a scoring title and still lose. Maybe they should change the trophy from most points to most goals. Foreshadowing there, isn't it? And then they've got him with his first Hart Trophy. And Gretzky would come to know the Hart Trophy pretty well. And then it was a fantastic time to start watching hockey. The first year that Gretzky was playing in the league. Yeah. Oh, man. Gretzky inked his name on the sweetest contract ever signed by a pro hockey player when he signed a 2-year endorsement contract with Nielsen. The contract was written on a 10-pound slab of Nielsen chocolate and approved by Nielsen president Tom Lamont. So there's Gretzky right there. And if you guys can tell me when a kid doesn't look like he's ready for the NHL, point back to this Wayne kid here. Yeah, Wayne never quite looked like the role of a hockey. He didn't look like a hockey player when all of his gear was off. Really didn't. Looked like a regular guy who had a lot of money. I don't remember him doing anything for Nielsen either. That's the funny thing. I don't know if it was a great 10 million or 2-year endorsement with Nielsen contract written. Oh, okay, well, I don't know how much money it was for. Probably a lot, though, by that standard in that day and time. It won't get any easier to score 100 points or fire 50 goals. In fact, the second time around it may be tougher. All the teams that shadow him, instead of mainly Minnesota with Mike Polish, Vancouver, Jerry Butler, and Montreal, Doug Jarvis. Butler and Jarvis were the best, said Gretzky. They played clean and just got in my way. There's nothing you can do about it if teams want to check you. You can't complain or worry about it. Yeah, Mario. Complaining about checking. You just have to get used to it. Lafleur keeps getting his points, and he's checked pretty closely. And, of course, looking back, this all seems silly, doesn't it? They're comparing him with all these other players like he's on their level. And when you look back, clearly he was a step ahead. He was above everybody else. The first 30 shifts of last season was a little tough to adjust to different positional play. Around Christmas, I adjusted and got used to the league. 30 games. 30 games of last season, it was a little tough to adjust. So, it's a little tough to adjust, and he gets 137 points as a rookie. Pretty good. It's not too bad. Take that. He had 4 magnificent games that come to mind. February 15th, he centered 2 different lines and picked up 7 assists and an 8-2 home win over Washington. He just sat back and watched, chuckled teammate Dave Hunter. So, I'm sure for his teammates, that was just insane. March 6th, he had 4 points and unanimous first star as the Oilers bowed 5-4 to the Canadiens at the Forum. March 25th, he scored his 46th and 47th goals and added an assist. March 29th, he had 6 points against the Toronto Maple Leafs and an 8-5 Oiler win. There was a lot of 8-5, 8-6. People came to the game to see him play, and I think our club did. I think our club just did too. Said Toronto coach Joe Crozier. Yeah, you guys lost the game? No, we came out to watch Gretzky play. Yeah, it's fine. I seem to play real well in cities where there was a real hockey atmosphere. There's places like Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal, Philadelphia, and of course Edmonton. Yeah. If he needed an important goal, he put Vancouver on his schedule. That always worked out really well for him. When you go to those towns, everyone is talking hockey. The seats are full of fans who love the game, and the sport is a really big thing. You notice LA wasn't on the list. LA would be now, to some extent. In the arena, I don't know about in the general vicinity. When you look at Los Angeles, how big the Kings are, especially in comparison with other sports, other teams like, I don't know, the Rams, for instance. If you can't feel the pressure, you're in the wrong business, he said. So, but again, if you look at him in this picture here, yeah, he was not a big guy. And pads and all the protective equipment the players wear now, not as big. So there you go. I'm going to make a playlist of this. I'm going to go through where each team was when I started watching hockey. Because I think it's fun to look back at where teams were, where they are now. And it was the first year as well for the Calgary Flames. That was when I said, yeah, you know what, this is something I can do a list on and just talk to you fine people about it. So there you go. 1981, the year I really fell for the game of hockey. 1980, of course, the Canucks lost in 4 games in the first round of the Buffalo Sabres. I remember I watched a little bit of that, but it was the 80-81 season where I really got into it. And it didn't end much better for the Canucks, but I'm sure at some point they won the Stanley Cup, right? I haven't been following a team for almost 40 years that hasn't won a Stanley Cup, right? Right. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You're just tapping upon this video. And hey, thank you guys so much for all your support. I'll talk to you again soon.